Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We are so excited to be back again for another live edition of our Associate Weekly Member Spotlight at the GCNKAA. Very excited to be here today with someone I'm looking forward to get to knowing a little bit better, Miss Lori Murphy with ePremium. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be here. I know you were scheduled to participate and we were trying to connect last week, and it actually worked out very well. We took some time last week to talk a little bit about the statement that the National Apartment Association put out regarding the racial unrest that's going on. And I really appreciate you being flexible with your time and rescheduling today. It's a great week in Greater Cincinnati, and we're going into what is probably going to be the most beautiful weekend we've had in a year at least. So I'm really excited and very happy that it's you today. I'm looking forward to getting to knowing you a little bit more. Lori is the Vice President with ePremium. She's a very familiar face to the GCNKAA. She and Ann Padgett actually work very closely with the association and certainly at the national level, and we appreciate all they do. Before we get started with Lori, I wanted to take just a moment and remind everyone that we do have some education classes scheduled for the upcoming next few weeks. Heather Adams sent out an email yesterday, so look for that in your inbox or check out our website. I did hear actually from Anne with ePremium that she took the unconscious bias class that we mentioned last week on our live stream. The National Apartment Association put this out. I think Franklin Covey is the founder of this particular class, but Anne said it was fantastic. It's on my schedule for next week, so I'm very much looking forward to that, and I encourage all of you to schedule that as well. So Lori, without further ado, I would love to turn it over. I'd ask you to just maybe take a moment, introduce yourself for those folks who might not know you, tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do with ePremium.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for hosting this on an ongoing basis. I think it's great to get in front of the people here locally and hopefully nationally. So thank you for all that you guys are doing there at the association.
Our pleasure.
As you said, my name is Lori Murphy. I'm the EVP here at ePremium. I wear lots of hats. We were teasing in our preview to this interview, you know, what's your official title? And chief bottle washer, I'll do it all, right?
Right.
We started 13 years ago, and I've done everything from sales to account management, a little bit of accounting, that's not my foray, trade shows, all kinds of different things. But my overall position is really just to manage and run the overall ePremium office at a high level. I'm very blessed. I have amazing team members in various departments that really do all the work for me. So.
And one thing I wasn't sure of, even though I've seen your face often, I didn't know you're actually based here, you said in Mason, right?
Yes, our office is up in Mason, off of Mason, Montgomery, kind of across from Kings Island, so to speak. So yeah, we're here, we're local. We have a lot of clients here locally as well as nationally, but I'm physically based here in the office when I'm not traveling.
Right.
Normally I'm on the road.
I asked you in our pre-conversation how long you've been with ePremium, and you said you're actually a founding member. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been with ePremium and in the industry in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with how long I've been in the industry first and foremost. It's been 20 plus years. I've always been on this side of the house. I started way back in the day. There was a company called The Registry, and they did background screening. I'll tell my age. We actually had to go out and install the software on the computers and
with floppy disks.
Yeah, right.
I was just telling someone I use floppy disks. They're like, "What?"
Exactly. I remember one of the. I know you're going to ask about a memorable story, but this just triggered this. I remember going out to a BRG office, and we still had the thermal paper, which is like the old fax machine. So here and that phone coupler thing that they put it in there and the crazy sound. So that's a little bit of a funny story. But so I started with a company called The Registry. Then they were purchased by First American. We became First American Registry. We then bought Safe Rent, so I was part of that group. And I think that they've evolved a couple of different times since then. Broke off from there. Also was part of another screening company that's here based in Cincinnati called Track One Technology. They do both employment and residential screening. And I think that we've got some clients here in the Cincinnati market on that side as well. And then we started the ePremium Renters Insurance in 2007, 2008.
What do you like so much about being involved in this industry as a supplier partner?
It's just every day is different.
Hmm.
There's something new. You learn something new every single day. Um, the people that are out that you come in contact with are amazing. To hear their stories, just when you think you've heard everything, and on the insurance side specifically, right? You think, gosh, I've heard everything, every possible scenario, and then you get a call from a property, and they're like, well, we just had this scenario happen. What can you do? Can you help me? What do I do? So just that, just the interaction with people.
So I joke with people all the time, and listening to you talk, I'm like, you guys would be the absolute prime candidate to be like reality TV show for the apartment
Yes.
industry. I
Oh,
can't imagine what you hear about the claims and the stories. People don't believe you when you tell them the kind of stuff that happens on site.
yeah,
You can make it up if you tried.
yeah. We have some in our newsletter that we do every
Hmm.
month internally. Anne puts
Hmm.
that together.
Right.
We've just started to do kind of claim of the month because
Uh-huh.
some of the
Oh,
stuff that
that's
we hear
hilarious.
is just like you can't think that that's a true a true story, and yet it is.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. Well, so you mentioned the funny story, and I can totally relate to the fax machine and taking cash for rent and like all the things
Oh,
that are completely foreign today. But I know we were talking a little bit about how involved you are on a national level and going to trade shows. What's one of the most favorite cities that you visited on behalf of this industry to go to a trade show or an association event or something like that?
yeah, I really liked San Diego. I love the vibe there.
Oh, yeah.
I love that they closed down the street, and we just had it. It was kind of a big street party.
Uh-huh. That was
It,
fun.
so that was good. All of them are unique in their own way. It's such a massive event when we talk about the national events. NAA. So those are, anytime that you can get a little bit more intimate and feel like you're a little bit closer. Um, Vegas is not one of my favorites. I feel like everybody's spread out. It's just such a massive environment. There's so much other stuff going on. So that's probably one of my least favorite places to
Right.
go for a business conference.
Sure.
Too many distractions.
Right. Fun. Well, before we get into a little bit more about you personally, which I'm excited to talk about, I'd love to ask you just to share a little bit about, what exactly does ePremium do and how can you best be of service to our primary members and the folks you work with in this association?
Yeah. So, for me, and I'm a little bit unique, and people that I work with think I'm a little bit crazy, but I say I want to be, if you call me a vendor, I get upset. Uh,
Yeah.
right. I want to be your partner.
Right.
Now we're in risk mitigation. And so for ePremium, and when I do trainings and when I do speeches with clients or different organizations, I say we're kind of like a three-legged race, right? We're a three-legged stool. You've got ePremium as one leg, you've got the property management company as another one, and then you've got the resident, which is the third leg, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
all three have to work really well together and have a unity, or else it
Mhm.
doesn't work.
Right.
So the products that we provide at ePremium must be good for the property management company, right? But they also have to be good for the resident, because if they're not good
Right.
for the resident's going to come and not be happy with ePremium or not be happy with the property management company. So the way that we structured ePremium is just that. We have great products that help the management company and the resident. A couple of things that are unique in our renters policy. We were the very first to market with pet damage. We have bed bug, biohazard cleanup, enhanced water coverage. So those are all really amazing things for the property management company, but they're also good for the resident, because when they go to move out, right, what we want, we know that the residents are under no grand illusion that they're ever going to get their deposits back, right? There's going to be some damage when they move out, but if they can transition some of those damages, some of those things that I just mentioned, to a renter's policy, and then not have to come out of pocket at the time of move out, it's going to benefit them, the resident, right? They're not going to end up in collections with a property management company, which will adversely affect them moving forward.
Right.
So there's a positivity for them in that respect. And as well, it helps to make the management company whole from a financial standpoint. So it's increasing their bottom line NOI. Our policy, we also were very specific. We wanted to make sure that we cover the residents no matter where they work, right? So if they have contents in a garage or a storage, they're traveling for business, their content, their personal items could be covered under our HO4 renters policy. That's pretty
Right.
unique as well. Usually it's just within inside the walls.
Right.
Then we also, in doing this over the past 12 years, we've really kind of developed a lot of different programs as we've seen the world change and as the needs have changed. In the beginning, it was probably 50-60% that were requiring and mandating renters insurance in the industry. And now that number is, escalated. I think we're up in the 90-some percentile of all management companies requiring renters insurance. So now it's more the norm. But now we want to make sure that we have specific programs for the management companies. We don't want to have a square peg in a round hole. We don't want to try to shove one product or one solution down anyone's throat. We come to the table with lots of arrows in our quiver. We want to make sure that we're talking to you, being a good partner. What's your end goal? Is it asset preservation? Is it ancillary income? Is it, protecting the residents? What is it that you want to do? And based on that information, then we can provide a solution. So
it's so interesting because I can tell you as a primary member that there aren't as many partners that you work with who have direct exposure to your resident base. And that's a pretty scary thing. Our sole purpose really is there to serve the residents. And we kind of have a three-legged stool as well, with like our own associates, residents, and then our owners and clients, because as a third-party manager, we don't own anything that we're managing. But it is so important that you have a professional partner when you are exposing someone to your resident base. So I like how you kind of framed that, what you do. And it gives me confidence that you put a lot of stock into the importance of treating the residents the same way, we would treat the residents, especially in the midst of no one's talking to you for happy times. Y'all are dealing with probably, among the worst days of people's life when there is a situation that requires a claim. So that's super important and really interesting to think about.
Yeah. Just one other thing on that is that we've even taken it to the point where we have our account management really works with you, the property management companies, and that's your customer service direct line. And then we have a call center that works with the residents calling in. So we actually have two separate call centers working with each one of those legs to make sure that they get the appropriate service.
Right. Well, that's very encouraging, I can tell you from my perspective, and good to know. I didn't really think about it that way. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of like value? How does this association best partner with your firm and your group to, create synergies? How can we take advantage, or for any member that's not already using ePremium or familiar with, how would you suggest we get started?
Yeah, I think that you can definitely reach out. As you mentioned, Ann Paget is our VP of marketing, and she handles a lot of the inbound leads and helps to filter them through and do a little pre-call assessment, so to speak, to make sure that they get with the right group. When we handle anything from 50 or 75 units up to 100,000 units or more. So we kind of run the whole gamut. So she kind of slices and dices and determines where that should go. What's unique about ePremium too is that we don't have termed contracts. So if you want to come and try us out, right, it's going to take a little bit of time because you want to see how the process works, how easy it is to get enrolled, and the account set up, the integrations that we have with the various PMS platforms out there. But you can come on board, and if for any reason you don't like us, you can leave. We're not going to lock you in. There are other companies that will lock you into a 1, 3, 5-year contract. And we have never felt that was a need to do that. We typically don't lose clients.
Well, that speaks volumes to the confidence you have in your product too. So that's fantastic.
Well, if you're not happy here, the last thing we want to do is keep you, hostage in an environment where you're not happy. So, we usually are able to talk through it, and it's usually because maybe they didn't understand that we had some aspect of our program. Right. I overheard something in the account management the other day that somebody didn't know that we did, third-party upload. We have a way that we can send out an email to your prospective residents when they're moving in, saying, don't forget, you're supposed to get renter's insurance. You have to have it before you get the keys. Click here, get it with ePremium, or click this link and upload your third-party policy, your State Farm Nationwide Geico. and
Right.
that gets sent into the system. They didn't know that there was a way to do that. And so it was just a matter of sharing that piece of our platform with them. Makes it easier on the site teams.
Right. So I have something that I wanted to ask you, just like a, industry related question. Being a third party management company, we get a lot of unique requests. We work for clients who have other management partners in different cities. And so they get, an idea maybe that they're using with a partner in Florida and they want to talk about it in Ohio or Kentucky or, one of our states that we operate for them in. But force placed renters insurance, is that something that you do? And is that something you've seen a more aggressive approach in owners wanting that sort of coverage?
We actually call it management place because force place sounds a little
forced is brutal, isn't it? That's hard. That's a hard word.
we call it management place, but yeah.
We're not holding you hostage and we're not forcing you to do anything.
Right, exactly. Actually, that's probably our largest product mix is the renter's insurance, which is the liability and the contents.
Right.
And then with our integration partners, we're able to see if a resident has fallen out of compliance with that requirement. And then the force place, management place policy can be applied. We have great technology that allows that whole transaction to be automated. So the leasing team doesn't have
Hopefully my internet didn't just take a little.
Do anything. Yeah, you froze up just a little bit there.
Sorry about that. Okay.
So that's one of the things that we heard, and we learn and we adapt through our partners coming to us with things that they want to see happen. Right. That's what happened with the pet. That's what happened with the bed bug, the biohazard cleanup, the integrations.
Right.
Back in the day, we were on the MIDS committee to create the standards for the integrations of the software platforms. And that was one of the things that we heard is that, gosh, I have these leasing teams and I'm paying them to do that job, not to do insurance and to track and monitor and add this and remove this. And so is there a way to automate that process? And through our integration technology, we're able to do that in an automated environment. So that's really tremendous.
And again, I can't tell you as an operator how extremely valuable it is to kind of take our time and eliminate the need to manage who's got it and following up and sending a letter and sending a, violation notice if you're not keeping up on your, like it's truly, it turns in from, you're not the property manager, you're the manager of the insurance policy. So having that automation and the management place, I do like that vernacular much. Stop using the word forced. I think that's probably an internal word that we, talk about. We never say that to our, customers, but it is very important. And I think a lot of customers would want that assurance. If you accidentally lapse and you didn't realize it happened and there's a claim, and I've seen it happen. I mean, I've been around for long enough that you see the worst of the worst things happen. And when people lose everything in a God forbid, a fire or something like that, and they don't have insurance, it's terrible.
Terrible.
So I think clients obviously appreciate it. The operators appreciate it for, saving time. And then our customers and residents appreciate it because it's just surefire coverage. No one would want to save a couple of bucks a month at the risk of losing everything.
Right. So our goal is to get you at 100% coverage based on your occupancy. So if you're 98% occupied, you should have 98% of coverage.
Right. Interesting. Well, thank you so much, Lori. Is there anything else about ePremium before we shift gears and get to know you a little bit better? Anything else about your service that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to add in our deposit insurance program. I know that that's really a hot topic, specifically here in Cincinnati, but it's pretty much going, nationwide.
Yeah.
We do have a deposit alternative program.
Okay.
It's an actual insurance policy. We're an insurance company. And so we can bundle that with our renter's insurance policy, drive participation. The unique piece is that the resident would pay a reduced amount, a percentage of the premium. So if it's a $500 deposit, for example, they would pay typically 25 to 50% of that amount. So $125 would get them $500 in coverage. The unique thing about ePremium is they actually get the coverage. They're buying an insurance policy up to $500. So it's no different than your traditional deposit.
Right.
Anything 501 and greater, they've got to come out of pocket and take the community home. But that way they have coverage. They're buying an insurance policy. So we're a little bit unique in that. We would love to talk with anybody here locally or nationally that might be watching and share how our program is a little bit different.
Well, we appreciate that very much. And I know this is the Lori Murphy show, not the Ann Paget show, but I do want to just take a moment and say, I mean, first of all, I've been involved with the association for a long time. So speaking for myself, and I'm sure I speak for other people too, you and ePremium and Ann do such a great job representing your company and your brand, not only locally, but nationally. I wasn't even sure that you all were physically based here because I have seen for years in my career as much of both of you at the national level as I have locally, and I see a ton of you locally. And so I just want to say how much we appreciate your partnership and how much we appreciate your support, not only of the National Apartment Association, but the Greater Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Apartment Association. Anne especially is the first one to engage with us on our social media posts, promoting everything that we do, liking everything we do, sharing it. She's on the social media committee with me and my counterpart, Carrie Riley, and she just does a phenomenal job. And so I thank you for her and thank her for all she does. ePremium is just such a great partner to this association and our members.
Yes, thank you. That's well noted.
Absolutely.
And I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, I know. So let's shift gears and let's round out this spotlight. Just getting to know you a little bit better, Lori. Tell us about your family.
So I'm married to Eric Murphy. We've been together for 23 years.
Wow, congrats. Right.
I'm always bad. I'm always the one that can't remember how long we've been together. I think 23 years. We have a daughter, Mackenzie. She's 15 and a half. She got her temps. She was able to get her temps right before the COVID shutdown. So we've been driving around like crazy. We have 2 puppies. We have 2 French bulldogs. One is Memphis. One is Zuko, Danny Zuko from the movie Grease.
That's hilarious.
Right? We're old soul type people. We have a lot of old hot rods. We like old cars. We go to car shows.
Fun.
So yeah.
I want to hang out with Lori. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a funny story. My son is 8, and so we have a dog, and it's a senior dog, and so he wants a puppy. He's always wanted a puppy. And we went on this little, I don't know, probably 2-month-long expedition where we went to every pet store and shelter in the area that we could find. I fell in love with this little French bulldog. I'm not ready. We're not ready. We're going to let our dog have its, final days, final year on earth alone. But I'm like, seriously, this little French bulldog was the cutest, sweetest thing I've ever seen. And I knew nothing about them. Yeah. What are yours?
Yeah, so Memphis will be 5 October 31st. Oh. And Zuko will be 1 December 1st.
Right.
So funny story is my daughter goes to CHCA and she was in a play and she had a little bit of time in between. So we went to, I think it's Petland over in, by Costco. I don't know.
Yeah.
She just wanted to look, she loves animals. So we walked in and we didn't do 2 months, Melissa. We did 2 days. It was love at first sight. So we brought that baby home. He's been fun. I said yes because I had 3 months of immense travel, and I was like, Eric and Mackenzie can take care of the whole puppy, the training.
Right, there you go.
And then COVID hit, and so I've been home. But he's been really good. They're a lot of fun. They're high energy, and then they collapse and just will snuggle and love on you.
Okay, so pre-COVID, when we were doing these kinds of spotlights, Lori, we would have people send pictures.
Okay.
See a picture, your whole family, of course, but I really want to see the little puppies too. That's cute. Okay, well
I'll throw them in the comments on the Facebook so that you guys can see it.
Yes, please do share some pictures on there. That would be super fun.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned your family and some of your hobbies, it sounds like, involve the car shows and whatnot. But what are some of your favorite pastimes?
I love to travel. I've always loved to travel. In fact, I was just talking with my daughter last night. We're talking about history with everything going on. And just, I love that my grandmother traveled a lot. And back in the day, that wasn't normal. She lived in Africa for a while. She traveled to Germany. And so I just, sitting there and listening and hearing the stories, I always wanted to travel. So I've been fortunate to travel a lot of different places and see a lot of things. And as I mentioned in our pre-call, I'm supposed to be on a cruise ship in the Mediterranean right now.
Wow.
So I'm missing that. We did a 14-day cruise, and going to Turkey and Greece and Italy and Spain and doing a lot. It was going to be a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, it sounds
We're
like
a
it.
little bit postponed. So we'll have to get back to that. But yeah, I love to travel. Sports, I love all sports.
Yeah.
My husband and I and Mackenzie are very into kind of NASCAR racing. My husband, when he was younger, was actually on a team. It was on a
Really?
pit crew, so that's
Yeah.
unique. So we watch that a lot. So
Do you have a favorite driver?
So Jimmy Johnson is my daughter's, right?
Yeah.
I've had a few over the years, but I really am enjoying Clint Boyer. I think
Okay.
he's a lot of fun. He's like the guy next door in some of the comments and tweets and some of the things that he's posted over this COVID situation. And he just seems like a really nice guy. His kids are a blast. So funny. So
I'll tell you, fun fact, probably no one would outside of my family much know about my love of NASCAR. When I was probably like an older teenager, young 20s, my dad was always a fan, but I could have cared less.
Right.
Could have absolutely cared less. When Dale Earnhardt passed away, and it really affected my dad, and I had a conversation with him about it. I started following Dale Earnhardt Jr. I had a number 8 sticker on my car when I was like 20 years old, and went to a race in Bristol just like on a whim. Didn't even have.
That's a great track.
Oh, it was one of the most incredible things. We drove down there, didn't have tickets at all. Found like a scalper and bought them, and like walked in, and it was so much fun. And so then I went to a couple, like the Kentucky Speedway. Went to a race there, and I think that's all I've done is Bristol and Kentucky Speedway. But I was flabbergasted to learn what the competition's like, the team mentality of it all. And I had worked with a guy who, when Jimmy Johnson, this was in the early 2000s when he was first coming up, he was like, he's the next big thing. You need to watch him. I'm like, no, I'm madly in love with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I'm going to marry him. And
that's funny. Well, there is a new next in coming. He's still a little bit young. He'll actually turn 18 at the end of this month. His name is Chandler Smith. And we've done some work with him and some sponsorship. He has a great family.
How fun.
Because he's not old enough, he can't run a full circuit. So he's running some in the trucks. He's in with Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Running some of the trucks for him. So hopefully you'll see him in Xfinity or the Cup race.
Yeah.
He's pretty phenomenal.
Well, that's interesting. I haven't watched it in a long time. And when Dale Earnhardt Jr. retired, I follow him and stuff on social media and whatnot. I'm like, it's fascinating. Like it really, really is. And every Sunday for a good solid couple of years of my life, I was watching the races and then it really helped my dad and I bond. And so that was super fun. But I've never met someone that passion. I wanted to go back quickly and ask you too, because you were mentioning your fabulous vacation that you've had to reschedule, but what's one of your favorite vacations of all times? Sorry.
Goodness.
I'm sorry. Take a drink. I'll take a drink too. We've been for a minute. Occupational hazard, huh? Talking too much. I struggle.
The air is so dry in here.
Yeah. No problem at all.
Goodness. Favorite vacations. Well, gosh, I sound crazy. I actually lived overseas for a while.
Really?
Middle East, yes, because this is horrible. I apologize.
No, I'm sorry, Lord. If we need to wrap it, just give me a sign here. Okay.
It's fine. We'll get there. I might sound crazy, but I'll get there.
Hey, we've got nothing but time.
So I've lived in Saudi Arabia. I've lived in Cyprus. I've lived in Dubai. I've traveled a lot. So vacation. How
did you come to live in Saudi Arabia or Dubai?
I know, right? It's crazy. Just happens. I don't know.
Decisions. You're like, I'm going here. I want to be here.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So, but vacations. I love to scuba dive. Mm-hmm. So, doing some of those kinds of things and traveling, swimming in the Dead Sea.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Anything that's travel, that's unique, that's a different country, it's a different culture. Right. I'm all about it.
That's fantastic. I love that. I was supposed to be nowhere exotic, but I was supposed to be on vacation last week myself, Florida, and I've rescheduled for July, and it feels like did it kind of blindly, but now everything's kind of open again. So I'm just really hoping there's not the second wave or anything, because I was telling someone, I short of like crossing the river one time, I haven't even been out of the state of Ohio in months. And like you, I'm accustomed to traveling for work, even if it's,
Right.
just a quick airplane ride. Like that's been a pretty big part of my life for 15 years now. And it's foreign to stay home for 3 months.
Yeah. I just asked my husband, I said, I don't know, I'm kind of getting used to this staying home. I said, I could be home 24/7 maybe. And he was like, we'll find something for you to do.
Right. Hey, I'll tell you, getting dressed and going places this week and being in my office for the first time and I took my dry cleaning in. They're like, we thought you moved away. I'm like, no, I hadn't been there since like
Right.
December. I'm like, I haven't worn normal clothes in so long.
Yeah.
But it's funny. My hope is that we can find a balance to the maybe some more from home, because we've all proven that we can make this work. Which will make us appreciate being back out in the world a little more.
Yeah.
Traveling so much, I'm sure you've had your fair share of worldly cuisine. What's one of your favorite foods or meals to have?
I love Italian. I also like some of the Middle Eastern foods. They're very unique.
Yeah.
I love food.
Yeah, I know, right.
I love food.
We could be BFFs, Lori. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love
keep
food.
saying all these things, and I'm like,
Right.
You're my spirit animal.
Yeah. I gave up on the, being a size 2 Barbie, because I love
Exactly.
food. It loves me. I want to enjoy my life. So
There you go.
I like to try
That's
different
right.
things.
Love it. Well, speaking, I made a comment here that I wanted to back to about animals. If you could be an animal, what would you be and why?
So it's funny that you asked that, because I always wanted to fly. Like, what does it look like to see things from up
Right.
above, and kind of look down and, be able to get from place to place. And so probably some type of bird. I don't know. With the drones that are out there, where you can see different.
Isn't that so amazing?
Visual aspect of different things. It's like, that's what it would be like being a bird, I think, being able to.
I think that's a really deep answer, because it's just about perspective.
Like, it is, yeah.
A different kind of perspective is just so important. Yeah. All right, a couple more questions and then we'll let you get this gorgeous weekend. Share a fun fact, just a random detail that we would not know about you had you not shared it on this very video.
Gosh, I already shared a couple. Lived overseas, scuba dive. I like to drive fast.
Yeah.
Fun facts. No.
Ever been in any shows or done any performances, hold any special designations, anything like that?
No, I'm kind of boring.
What? Well, you spend all your time traveling and doing amazing things. I wouldn't call that boring at all.
No, I just love to travel, and I don't know.
Well, I love that.
I think scuba diving and, having been overseas and lived in the Middle East for a while, and I was able to figure out a way to work when I wasn't allowed to work, and
right.
Just meeting people, different cultures. I think travel is probably the biggest thing. I'm very adventuresome.
I love that. All right. Well, last question for you, and we'll get to the rest of the weekend. So how do you think people who have worked with you, Lori, or know you from this industry would describe you as a leader?
I would hope that they would describe me as somebody who's fun, who's honest, who's caring, has high integrity, is coachable and willing to coach. It's really important for me to raise up the team that I work with. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I feel so blessed to have the leaders in the positions that I have in this company, because they really do the real work. Right. And having them as partners is really important to me. So I would say good coach, good listener, integrity, fun, love to have fun.
Clearly, we're hanging out very soon.
So come on over.
Well, thank you so much. It has truly been a pleasure. It was worth the wait for the extra week. I think this is a fantastic kickoff to the weekend. Please share some pictures on our Facebook post. This is live and we're going to post it to our page again for anyone who couldn't watch it in real time. But it's been a pleasure. And I just want to say thank you again for everything you do to support the GCNKAA specifically, but also the National Apartment Association and every initiative that those two organizations have to support their members. So it's very appreciated.
Yes.
Enjoy your weekend. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully at a live event here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe after the summer, we'll be able to get back together in person again.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
All right. Well, take care, Lori. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for all you're doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.